Red 5, standing by.
Red 2, standing by. They're everywhere.
Oh, was I supposed to say something?
Hey everyone, welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 times a week, so go ahead and check out AsArt.space for all the audio and video links. Subscribe here if you like what you're seeing. And we do post a podcast once a week as well, so again, check out AsArt.space for all those links. So Nick, you weren't super impressed, but we are getting a new Star Wars game on pretty much all the current consoles that is a Star Wars kind of flight simulator type game, which we haven't gotten in a while. So
yeah.
Did you play any of those type of games ever?
What was the one that you were on Hoth?
Well, there was a game called Shadows of the Empire for the Nintendo 64 at the very beginning where you flew around Hoth in a little spaceship.
Was that the one afterwards? You're like a bounty hunter and you jump around?
Yes,
like
that was Shadows of the
Love
Empire.
That game. Oh my god!
If you guys haven't checked that out, it originally came out on the Nintendo 64.
Yes.
It was the first franchise where they released a book along with it too. The book was actually quite good. So they released the book, they released the game, and then also it came out on PC later on. That's what
it was like a rip-off Han Solo, basically.
It was a rip-off Han Solo with a ship like that, but it was cool because you had flight sequences where you're flying like a spaceship. They had speeder bikes, and then they had like third-person shooters. So it was trying to be everything all in one. I read a really fun article about it a while ago, and the guy was saying that the kind of pitched the idea is like, yeah, that was a big mistake. He's like, it was so much work making like basically 3 games in one. But people have a lot of really good memories of that game. So
I do.
I do too. I play that all the time. So if you guys are a vintage game collector and you have a Nintendo 64, go pick that up. Or if you're a PC gamer, go to GOG.com, Good Old Games, and you can buy it. I literally bought it on like a...
what is it called?
Good Old Games. GOG.com.
I'm going there.
So Good Old Games. Yeah, it's the people. It's the people that made... The people that made the Witcher City Project Red, they made that site to preserve old like games. Because a lot of games went out of print or they didn't work at all, and they re-engineered them to work on modern systems, which is really, really fun. So on May the 4th, they had a sale on all the Star Wars games, and I got it for like $1.79. And it's typically like $5 or $6. So you get all these great old games that will run on current hardware for like dirt cheap. And they have some for Mac OS, they have a lot for... all of them for PC, and they have quite a number for Linux as well. But it's just a fun way to revisit a lot of these old games. But anyway, so you remember that one. That's kind of a flight simulator a little bit. This is maybe before your time, or at least you had to be a PC exclusive gamer at the time. I played some hardcore space simulators that were called X-Wing and then later TIE Fighter. And those were, again, like this is in the heyday of flight simulators for PC. It was like one of the most dominant genres, which is ironic because it's almost non-existent now. But it was really, really fun. Like you'd have all these keyboard shortcuts. All right, shields to the front, shields to the back. I need to balance my lasers with my shield recharge rate, and really, really fun stuff, and in-depth missions, and you have a flight stick. Really, really fun. But then you got later on, I think in the GameCube era, you got a game called Rogue Squadron, and it was a lot more.
Yes.
Oh, did you play that too?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is awesome! You just like mentioned a game. I'm like, yeah, there's so many memories.
So that was and I didn't have a Nintendo 64 or a GameCube, but I did have a PC, and these always found their ways to the PC as well. So I did play that. I didn't like those as much because they were more arcade games, and
they were.
Is what this is reminding me of. This is reminding more of a casual arcade sim, but it'd still be really fun because one, it's multiplayer.
Is it going to be VR?
Really cool. And that's the most exciting thing for me is anybody that has a PlayStation 4 or will have a PlayStation 5, since the PSVR will work on the PlayStation 5, or if you're a PC gamer, you can play this whole game in VR, which is really, really cool because if you guys played the remake of the Battlefront series, Battlefront, that was made by DICE using the Frostbite engine, they had one little demo mission, and I'm surprised I didn't follow it up because that was a number of years ago. You could play a level in VR where you're flying around space, you could see the front of your fighter, and it was just magical. It was short, it wasn't super involved as far as all the controls, but it was really, really fun. And now you're getting a game when not many people are taking a chance with VR anymore. They're going to make the whole game playable in VR, which to me is very much appreciated because you had this surge of VR content when it first came out, and it's just almost exponentially declined to where you're still getting some content, but it's not nearly what it was. And to Sony's credit, or not Sony, but Sony's credit, they are continuing to support the PlayStation VR, and then now EA.
I wonder how much they invested.
They invested pretty heavily for sure. I mean, yeah. But I think it could be fun because it's cross compatible, or you could cross play between Xbox, PC, PlayStation, and so whoever,
is it gonna be on the Switch too?
I don't know. I think they announced it for all the systems,
cool.
but I might be wrong.
I wouldn't mind playing that when I'm on a plane, like we're looking out the window.
But that would be fun. Like that's something that like you could jump online, just play a while, and have a fun time. And it's a different type of game. So I am excited about it. I remember in arcades they used to have some more obviously arcadey type flight simulators, and you could play with multiple people, and it was really fun. So I think this could be really, really fun.
Dude, it might, if it works for the Switch, that'd be pretty cool. So the Switch, the body, it has motion control in it. So like in the game. Mm-hmm. So if they set up like a special thing that you can put on your, like, you know, you can put on a special thing, and no matter where you look, you can like look around and you have the controllers in your hand or something like that, like to shoot.
I mean, you could. The only downside to do it in VR is that you have to render 2 cameras, right? So it's kind of double the amount, and that's why VR games don't look as good as regular games, because they're having to render it twice, and that's very taxing on the hardware. The Switch compared to the PS4 and the Xbox One doesn't have as much power. That doesn't mean they can't do it. It just might not look as.
I mean,
good,
it doesn't look like it was super high. I'm just trying.
Well, the cool thing is when you're in a cockpit and you're flying around, like that's the majority of what you see is just the cockpit.
Yeah,
so
just like the racing games.
Not pre-run. Yeah, just like the racing game. Racing games always tend to look, you know, the best, or one of the best examples of graphics on a platform, just because. I just love racing games, but 2, they're able to focus very in on the details you see closest up, which is really, really fun.
And then
so,
you probably count for a lot of motion blur and other stuff too.
Yeah. But even when you do motion blur, it's a post-process, so you're still rendering everything very sharply and then blurring it. But I guess you could just get away with blurrier textures, I guess, that way too. It just kind of depends on how you go about it. But I'm excited. I'm sure it's going to make its way to the new consoles coming out in the fall as well, to the the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and things like that. So depending on that could be a different opportunity for VR to look really good as well.
This may be a far. I just thought of this right now. Wouldn't it be cool? Did you ever play Star Fox 64?
Yeah, I played on the original Super Nintendo.
Oh dang! It's basically the same thing, but it's like the same kind of controls.
Except it looked so. If you guys look up Star Fox Super Nintendo, that was like the first 3D I ever saw, I think. And I think like,
it was the first 3D.
Whoa, it looks so bad.
Yeah,
because the Super Nintendo had a special chip in it. They used it in a few games, like F-Zero was a racing game for Super Nintendo. Super fun. And then in Super Star Wars, they had some fun levels as well where you could, and it was like a fake 3D effect. Yes. But in Star Fox, it was real 3D, but it was like 12 frames a second, ran super choppy. I never played Star Fox 64. Do you remember that being super impressive?
I love that's one of my favorite games. That's very, very good memory.
It's a very popular franchise. Has that had a game in a while or no?
I think there was one on the 64, and it was just stupid because he jumped out of the ship and he was walking around the planet with dinosaurs and stuff like that. It's like, no, just stick to the game.
But it's funny. That's a very popular, well-remembered series.
Yeah, because of Pippi. There's like other characters, and there's like annoying characters. Like, help, help! They're always like, help! You're like, oh my gosh, I have to save these guys. These guys are supposed to be aiding me, and you're like going over there and saving them all the time. But like, I always thought it would be so cool to have an X-Wing game like that. Kind of like, you're in the background a little bit, shooting, and not just like.
I always have fond memories of the space simulators. Obviously, I'm more of the hardcore space simulators like you got back in the heyday of those on PC. But I liked Rogue Squadron. I didn't play any of the ones after.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out. Am I going to buy it right away? No, but if it's something that especially we can cross-play, like Nick and I have different systems, if we could be able to play that would be a fun thing just to jump into and play a little bit. The good thing about it being more arcadey is you can just jump in and play a while like any of these, first-person shooters.
Yeah,
so
it's not like you have to dedicate tons of time. It's kind of like a Mario go-kart. You can just pop in, press A to go, race, and it's like, oh, cool. Yeah. It's not like you have to dedicate... Like a Zelda game, you have to dedicate so many hours to it and stuff, So.
But one thing I do like that they're doing is they are including a single player campaign, and you actually don't play. You can't play the multiplayer until you've reached a certain level in the single player because they want you to be, at least competent with the ship. So that makes me think maybe it is going to be a little bit more complex. It might not be a realistic simulator, but we're in the Star Wars universe. It's not supposed to be realistic. So the hope is that it will be deep enough that will keep people entertained and not just like a shooter, but it will be accessible enough that a lot of people like it, which I'm sure they're going to be shooting. They've been shooting for the mass audiences, but nice. I'm excited. I thought it looked cool. I'm just excited to be flying around in space. I think that'd be really fun. So really cool.
Flying around in space. Lucy in the sky with time.
He always has a song to go along with it, but yeah. So I'm super excited about it.
Dang it! I
Nick, do you think this might be a
David Bowie song?
There's
okay, so many good space. Is there life?
There'll be another Star Wars game.
Mars?
So you guys, let us know if you're excited about it. I mean, obviously, it could be great. It could be trash. You never know. Star Wars does have a mixed history as far as the quality of the games, but it holds some promise. And I think a lot of people are probably excited about it. So let us know what you're thinking, and we'll see you on the next AsArt.